Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So in this video, we're going to do a 5-star review of Nakoko, our newest unit, and I'll do a little bit of gameplay and let you know what I think about her. But the most important question of all is
she hot or not?
Well, not sure if she's half my age plus 1, so I will opt not to comment. Anyways, Necoco is extremely versatile and extremely powerful unit. She is an Earth/Axe user. However, we'll see a little bit later on in this video, she can do a little bit more than that as well. Her VC at level 3, power and int down 20 for 1 turn, and obviously enhanceable with VC Grasta. Not bad at all. Very defensive in nature and, can make the difference between surviving and dying. Now, you can see the 3 moves I'm going with. However, note that her ability effect has enhanced all parties in the front line at the start of each battle. And what that means is she guarantees everyone to have 1 stack of 100% crit rate for 1 move or 1 turn. Very, very useful when farming. In terms of her moves, we can go with the Spirit Wisdom. Earth type resist 25, Earth type attacks on all party members plus 25, and in any elemental zone, double that. So it's 50 negative debuff as well as 50 positive for you. So that's essentially lots and lots of damage difference. And note, she is the only unit, well, I should say the second unit, that her moves change based on the type of zone. So if she's in Earth zone, this will be an Earth resist debuff, water, so on and so forth. She also has some defensive capabilities, Cat Deity, Guardian, physical of all main and reserve party members plus 35 shielding and elemental shielding 35. So really, really good if you're up against some super bosses, and there are some here in this game. This one is not bad, inflicts permanent pain. However, you usually have another pain setter on your team, especially in the end game where you can have Grasta that enhances or inflicts pain on its own. However, you do want a pain setter on your team because, she does need that as well. And finally, Healing Prayer has a small MP regen for 3 turns and status recovery, and it also doubles in effectiveness if she is in if the enemy, your teammate is under 50% MP. So again, very useful when farming or even against some extended fights. However, we're going with Spirit Wisdom for a more offensive-minded setup. Her 2 5-star moves, Cat Deity, Earth/attack times 4XL, increases AF combo meter when in AF obviously, and when in any elemental zone. Crit rate of all party members to 100 and crit damage plus 50. And again, this move is Earth-based and will change to the element of your choice when you are in that particular element. So again, this unit can fit in all 4 elements: fire, wind, earth, and water. And I will demonstrate that later on in this video. This is one of the main reasons she's extremely powerful. She is your crit setter for any elemental zone, essentially. And finally, her spam move, Earth/AoE XL, restore all party members HP 1500. Triple damage if enemy is afflicted with pain. And again, we have a pain setter, or she can set pain herself. And when in the type zone, double the strength and restore amount. So again, in elemental zones, that means she'll heal for 3,000 to everybody in front, and again, extra damage as well. And might I remind you, changes to the element you are using, or even if the enemy is changing zones, which we'll also show you a little bit later. So these are her. This is her 5-star board, and we can keep on going. I will show you her. She is actually a fairy. I don't think we have any fairy Grasta enhancing, so nothing there. However, she is also Eastern, so keep that in mind. Now, I didn't put any Grasta on her yet, but she will have pain, and we can enhance those pain with either inflicting pain or the most popular ones, Last Stand, Rose with Thorns, and I think there's a weak point one as well. So, let's take her out for a spin. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So being that her powerful move is an AoE, pretty much wipes out everything. And she can, this pain inflicting is obviously from Grasta, so that move by itself doesn't inflict pain. However, very, very powerful, and she's by herself. She can actually sustain herself for a fair bit, being that in the fights, she can heal herself. I did apply a 25% Earth Resist debuff with her Cat Wisdom, and keep in mind that increases your Earth attacks by 25%. Remember that move also changes based on the element. So again, in a dedicated elemental zone, you're now going to power up your team by 50% and put that particular element debuff by 50%. Note that since she heals herself, as you attack, she'll probably be able to solo most smaller horror fights, or even if you're farming and relying on her, although the MP cost does get prohibitive at times. So these are the 3 pain pain Grasta we're using, although you can switch it to elemental if you so choose for farming purposes. Now, in this next section of the video, we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to just demonstrate how the moves change in different elements. So note that in water it's called clear, and again, the name actually does change depending on the element. So for water, it's clear. And we're just going to switch zones to wind here. And now you can see it's windy cat hook. Note that, again, the pain is not applied by her move, but by her enhanced Grasta. Okay, in our next zone, we're going to change to fire, and we're going to actually use the crit setting Cat Deity Flame. So again, Cat Deity is the standard move, and it changes to Flame because it's fire based, and that's the one that gives 3 crit rate up of the moves for 100 and increases crit damage of your entire team by 50%. And finally, back to her native element, Earth. So that Earth Wisdom, or the Cat Wisdom, becomes Earth type, applies a 50% Earth Resist debuff, as well as 50% increased damage to your Earth team. So 1 hit, 3 million, not bad for really no setup at all, just essentially increased crit damage by herself. Don't forget that my Unified also increases crit damage by 50% with her VC. Okay, so in our final example here, we're going to do a little bit more shall I say, realistic situation. We're going to put Nakoko in a dedicated water team, and before I was using actually AS4 as our dedicated healer. However, as you know now, Nakoko can do much more than that. She can heal for a fixed essentially 3000 in water zone. Don't forget, she's going to be having a very versatile moveset with applying water resist debuff 50, increasing your water damage by 50 for your whole team. So she casted the Cat Wisdom, which is 50% to increase to everybody, and now she is going to cast the crit one, and she can set up the Cat Deity before the turn ends, so that you'll have 3 crit moves moving into the next wave of the fight. So during the AF, if you have leftover moves, you can definitely use that last. So she essentially increases your crit damage by 50% for 3 turns, and you'll have 3 moves, in which case everyone is crit rate 100%, being that on the other 3 members, Sheenie, AS Leclerc, as well as AS Annabelle, they don't set crit to 100, and so you're really going to help their damage along as well. One small downside about Necoco, she doesn't have any power or int debuffs. She'll have to rely on other party members for that. However, don't forget that if you really need some additional defense, you can just switch to her Cat Guardian, where it is 35 physical shielding, 35 elemental shielding, for front and back members, and then you just, and she can just heal afterwards for 3k. So yeah, that is great. Alright, so again, she's very synergistic with the other members of her team, and like I mentioned many times, fits into everything. So I know that this video probably doesn't show the large numbers that some of you may be looking for in terms of how much damage she do, but I really want to just demonstrate the main value of her is not primarily as a DPS, although you can clearly see she can do a fair bit of damage compared to her peers, right? It's more like she can fit in everything, and she really does fit 2 or 3 roles, allowing some of your other team members to really shine, especially if she's boosting other units' DPS via support or healing or even crit rate setting. Okay, we're on our 3rd phase, and again, at the very end, I did do the Cat Deity to guarantee that we have 3 crit damage. Note that because Gildna switched to Fire Zone, we still got a fire hit in, which still powered our AF bar by 7.5%. So very valuable against enemies who do change zone, being that we still get that AF bar. And if you're using Cat Deity, note that we still get 3 crit moves 100% guaranteed with the crit damage 50% up for 3 turns. Okay, and so we're just going to wear it down a little bit more. It wasn't that we weren't able to beat this already with AS forward. It's just that, again, just the fact that she can do so much. I can't overemphasize how useful Necoco is. And to be fair, haven't even taken her up against some even more powerful bosses. But if she is this useful here, I can't see how she wouldn't be an integral part of most endgame super boss fights. Okay, so you can see Leclerc can do like 3 million. Even Nakoko with 1 swipe is over 2. So, and remember, these aren't against enemies with weakness. These are just just enemies who are vulnerable to attack. Alright, so all done. Everyone's at full HP for the final round. And yeah, that's another good thing about her. Always guaranteed to have your parties at full HP to survive whatever comes your way. Now here's another example where the boss will override our water zone with fire preemptively. And note, hey, our clear cat hook, changes color back because it would have been fire. However, we reestablished water zone, and so we get that cat hook, which is a water-based attack. And seeing that everyone is doing crit, remember we set up crit rate 100% during the last AF. So everyone has 3 moves, and then all we had to do is do another short half turn or half bar AF, and the battle is won. So let's just do that right here. If you're wondering why it doesn't look like we're doing a lot of that, I guess cat wisdom, where we're doing that, I guess the debuff 50 and increase your type attack 50%. I usually actually do that in the beginning of the AF just to set it up, because then we can get hits outside of AF to power the AF bar. Alright, so there you have it. So in conclusion, I would highly recommend getting Nakoko if you haven't already. Like I said many times, she fits on every team. She can do healing, crit rate setting, crit damage up. She can do shielding, physical and type. She can also do type resistance down, type attack up for your whole team. I mean, what else is there to say? She's actually not even bad in speed. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.